Hello.
Hello, podcast listeners.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
We are here with, it should be a shorter episode because that's what we try to do on Tuesdays. Although the more I kept finding, it's not as short as some of our short ones.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, and this is the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast, and I'm Kara.
And I'm Megan. Hello.
Hello.
And you are listening to this on Tuesday, which is if you're listening the day it comes out, that means tonight is our live chat with the Janets on the Patreon.
So fun. I love it.
I do too. Make sure you check the Patreon posts for all the info on that.
Yes.
It's at 7:00 Eastern tonight.
Yes.
Okay. I'm excited for this story.
I cannot wait
for
to hear
a few different reasons.
Okay.
It was an email that was sent to us.
Oh, I love when this happens.
A while back, which is just proof that if we haven't gotten to
attention,
you,
guys.
and we don't even do them in order, it's more of what do I feel
Grab
like
and go.
doing today? So this one is from Marina, which I could have mispronounced, which is something you all should just know by now.
No, we're so good at names. So that's actually the new name that you're going to go by, okay?
And now we shall call you Marina.
And he shall be squishy and he shall be mine. Oh, as I kick you.
Okay. Hey, ladies, I'm a fan from Northwest Arkansas, and I keep thinking you guys might be interested in a couple things in a town near where I grew up called Eureka Springs.
Okay.
There is a hotel called the Crescent Hotel with a very colorful history, and it is very haunted. Also, there is an underground ghost tour through the rest of the town.
Oh my gosh.
Very cool history of this town. It's also very beautiful with lots of shopping and touristy things to do, so I would highly recommend it. And after researching this, I am also like,
maybe we should
put it on my list of places to go at some point.
Yes.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
It's a good one.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
In the late 1800s, the healing waters of the Ozarks were well known around the country.
Oh, yes.
People came from all over to dip into the springs and cure their ailments.
Ooh.
Developers planned to capitalize on this reputation by building the most luxurious resort,
of course they did,
in the United States.
Of course,
yes, because
they wanted to share.
That is what we do.
The gift that the earth has given.
How can I make money from this thing?
Right.
The 78-room Crescent Hotel and Spa in Arkansas was constructed in 1886, located on 27 acres in Eureka Springs.
Okay.
During its construction, stonemasons were brought in from Ireland, and they used magnesium limestone to build the hotel. They also built 18-inch walls, several towers, overhanging balconies, and a huge stone fireplace in the lobby.
Oh.
The hotel included electrical lights, modern plumbing, steam heating, an elevator, extensive landscaping, and luxurious decorations and amenities.
Oh my gosh.
Now remember, this was like 1884 to 1886.
Yeah.
It cost $294,000 to build, which back then,
millions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot of monies.
So when it opened, they had a ball.
Did they?
With 400 guests. Because it had, of course, like a full ballroom.
Yeah.
And they also had an in-house full orchestra.
What?
I know. Like fancy.
Wow.
So there was a ball with a full orchestra and a banquet dinner. High society from all over the country came to celebrate the opening, and then they kept coming because, of course, this is the most luxurious resort in the country. Yes. So it's where you're going to go to be seen. So in addition,
it reminds me of, the Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby wasn't amazing, like building. It was like a farmhouse type thing, but everybody, celebrities and everything came to it. Yes. It reminds me of that.
Yes.
I love it.
In addition to the healing waters of the spa, guests could also enjoy a stable of 100 horses.
Oh my gosh.
Tea dances in the afternoon.
What?
And elaborate parties every evening.
Look at you, Eureka Springs.
All with that full orchestra.
Oh,
it sounds like a cruise ship.
It really does.
You have a party every night? And tea dances?
And 100 horses to just go riding?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, as we moved into the 1900s, people started to realize that the healing waters weren't actually healing.
Listen, I would still go for the party.
Yeah. But the place bills itself as come here for the springs. True. Slowly people stopped coming to the resort, and eventually it closed. It was also around the time of the Great Depression. I think, so that didn't help anything.
No, we can't.
It was used for other things for several years, which I'll get to later.
Okay.
But first, I'm going to skip to 1937.
Okay.
Because you are going to be particularly interested in this part.
No, I can't wait.
That's when a man named Dr. Norman Baker
Uh-huh.
moved in.
Okay.
And if that name sounds familiar, it's because Kara did an episode on him. It's
Yes.
episode 117.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go through his whole story again, but he factors into this one
He's a hominid.
in a pretty big way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to remind you about who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So he took over the hotel in 1937 and called it by a new name, the Baker Hospital.
Yep.
This lasted anywhere from 20 months to 3 years. I've seen different, so I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure. This is especially amazing for the residents in the surrounding area because Dr. Baker has an amazing treatment available. If you remember, he can cure cancer.
Was it like watermelon
Yes,
seeds?
I've got that in here too. Yes. He can cure cancer without any cutting or radium or x-rays. Now, Dr. Baker has a lot going for him.
He really did. Yeah.
You know how when someone is good looking and confident, it's human nature to automatically assign
Trust
like
them,
positive
and
characteristics to them. That's partly why we all find Ted Bundy so shocking, even though he's not attractive.
No.
But a lot of people think he was
very intelligent.
And it's this whole thing of how do handsome people kill people? Like, would never happen.
That would never happen.
And I think if we're self-aware enough, we don't like this about ourselves, but it's just psychology. Attractive is good.
Yeah.
If you're unattractive, you got to work harder to prove that you're good. And Dr. Baker was attractive.
Yeah.
He had gray hair, like the kind that's hot.
Yeah, like salt. It was like George Clooney hair.
That's exactly who I thought it was, George Clooney.
Yeah.
Sharp eyes, good jawline. And then he's there being like, I'm a doctor and I can cure cancer.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone has no reason to think that this isn't true.
Exactly.
Look how hot he is.
Yeah.
Of course he can cure cancer. And there's also the thing of if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Yeah, you want anything.
And someone offers you.
Yeah.
Right. You almost have to believe it.
Right, exactly.
Because the alternative is too awful.
Yes.
Sick people come from all over and they pay cash.
Yes.
Lots and lots and lots of cash.
All of it.
What's his treatment? It's a combination of something he calls Formula 5 and the power of positive thinking.
It's gonna heal us all. Depressed, just feel better.
I mean, positive thinking is powerful. Like mindset is everything, but it's not the only.
Right. Positive
particularly when it comes to
affirmations are so much better than putting yourself down.
Yes. Formula 5 was made up of alcohol, glycerol, carbolic acid, ground watermelon seed, corn silk, and clover leaves. I mean,
so good.
Definitely going to cure cancer.
Yeah.
It was injected at the site of the cancer up to 7 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
The pantry of the hotel was turned into a morgue because, as you can imagine, Formula 5 was not all that effective.
Right.
Obviously, Norman Baker was a quack, and the only good thing about this is that he was arrested for mail fraud because he'd mailed out advertisements saying he could cure cancer.
Right.
So that's what they got him on.
Yeah.
And if you remember from the episode, he got hardly like 4 years or something of jail time. So even though he died, side note, Norman's former office at the Crescent is now a guest room.
Ooh.
Which is just interesting.
Creepy.
Anyway, he died a free man in Florida back in the 50s. And when he died, he had cancer. Which I'm like, irony.
Strange, sir.
But these days, Kara, Norman Baker's ghost is said to haunt the Crescent Hotel.
Is he the one that wore like the crazy purple suits?
Yes,
too?
He was all into purple. Yes. He had a purple car.
Yes.
But it's not just him. There's a whole slew of apparitions from his shady hospital days. So,
man,
Baker's ghost has been seen in the lobby of the hotel at the foot of the first floor stairway, as well as in the old rec room in the basement. He's wearing a purple shirt and white linen suit.
Yes.
He had a thing for lavender.
Yes.
Aside from him, there's a nurse pushing a gurney that has also been seen, and you can hear the squeaks and the rattles of the gurney.
Oh my gosh.
As she pushes it down the hallway. The nurse is dressed all in white and only appears after 11 p.m. because
that was her shift.
Well, when the hospital was open, they wouldn't move the dead bodies to the morgue until after 11.
When people would go to sleep.
Because if you're there thinking you cure cancer, then there shouldn't be any dead bodies.
Yeah.
So they had to keep that kind of a secret. Remember how I'd said there'd been a morgue set up?
Yes. In the pantry.
It's still there.
What?
And it still has his autopsy table as well as a walk-in freezer. The hotel's laundry room is next to the old morgue.
Stop it.
And a maintenance man was in the laundry room once when all the washers and dryers turned on by themselves in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's Theodora.
Okay.
An elderly woman who introduces herself as a cancer patient of Dr. Baker's before she disappears.
What?
They say she's very
sweet,
and cordial. She resides.
Hey, Theodora, I'm a cancer patient of Dr. Baker's.
Yes, and then she just kind of disappears. She resides around room 419, and several housekeepers have met her. You can usually see her outside the door. She's looking for her key. But then also she'll tidy up the room whenever there's guests in there. Like she kind of cleans up after.
What?
Yeah. And then for a while, there was an antique switchboard they used in the hotel long after the hospital had closed. The basement of the hotel is where Norman conducted his treatments.
Right.
And the old switchboard would continually receive phone calls from the basement, even though it was empty. So eventually they just like stopped using the switchboard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So those are the spirits connected to Norman Baker and his fake hospital.
Oh, I am sure there's so many paranormal things happening.
Because of all the awfulness that happened and the sadness and like the really strong emotions. You know, you always hear about how, particularly in places where there's a lot of trauma and strong emotions, that's it.
Well, and the building already probably had a ton of energy from the environment that was in it before, even though it was positive energy, and then leaving that to him and his madness.
Yeah.
And that just all kind of...
But there's more. There are other ghosts that have nothing to do with Norman Baker.
Oh, great. Okay.
So one of the more well-known is Michael, a red-headed Irish stonemason who worked on the construction of the hotel.
Okay.
He was working on the roof, lost his balance, and fell to his death. He died in what is now room 218. And that is apparently the room that has the most paranormal activity in the whole place.
Really?
Also, we don't really know if his name was Michael. That's just what everybody calls him.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way to know what his name was.
We're just going to call you Michael.
So room 218 has been investigated many times by ghost hunters, like TV shows come in, all those kind of things. And Michael has been classified as a poltergeist.
Ooh.
Terrifying movie.
Yes.
By the way. It still holds up. I watched it in 2020.
Tracks.
Still tracks. Terrible. Absolutely terrifying.
Oh
I saw it when I was way too young. Like way too young to have seen it.
I attempted to watch that when I think Sophie was a baby, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna have some time to myself. Like, I'm just gonna sit up and watch a movie. And I don't remember if I was watching it with one of my brothers or what, but I was just like, no, can't do this.
I mean, I think I was 8 or 9 when I saw it. It traumatized me. Like my babysitter let me watch it, and I didn't watch it again until 2020.
Right,
thinking
I'm fine. That
movie was from the 80s.
Exactly. No,
it's still terrifying.
No, I don't like it at all.
So the haunting in room 218 includes hands coming out of the bathroom mirror.
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Cries of a falling man in the ceiling. The door opening and then slamming shut, and then you can't open it again.
No. I don't want to be in a real life escape room.
Michael also likes to play tricks with the lights and the television.
Stop it, Michael.
And guests have been shaken during the
night. What? Michael, get out of here.
Room 218 is the most requested room in the place.
I bet it is.
Listen,
everybody wants to experience that.
I love this stuff. I don't want to stay in that room.
No, I don't at all. No.
I don't think I want to sleep in the hotel.
Listen,
it does sound real fancy.
Yes. I was going to say, if we stayed there, Michael would find us.
Oh, God. One of the articles that I read referred to Michael as a flirty ghost. They're like, he forever romances the, guests in room 218. But have you ever seen that movie High Spirits?
Yes.
It reminds me, the redheaded, I think he's Irish or Scottish in that. And yeah, it reminds me of him. I love that movie, guys. It's got Steve Guttenberg in it, and I can't think of anybody else. The wife from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What is her name?
I can't think of it, but God, I freaking love that movie.
Wow,
I used to watch that over and over when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's been forever since
it's a comedy.
Yes.
Okay. Another haunted room is the hotel's crystal dining room, which it was once the ballroom back in the Crescent's heyday. So a man in Victorian clothing, I know, is often seen in the dining room sitting at a table near the windows. And he says, I saw the most beautiful woman here last night, and I'm waiting for her to return.
Oh my gosh. So he thought probably when he died, he still had memories of her, and that's where he ended up, because that was never answered for him.
Others have seen spirits in the Victorian ball attire dancing around the room in the middle of the night when the dining room is closed.
Oh my gosh. It's like the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney.
Yes, totally. That's my picture too. There's this huge mirror that hangs between the doors from the dining room to the kitchen. And one time a server looked in that mirror and she saw a man and a woman in Victorian clothing standing in the dining room, like in the reflection. And they were facing each other like they were in a wedding. And then the groom turned and made eye contact with the server, and then they both faded away.
What?
Yeah.
How cool.
And also
creepy.
Scary. Another morning, staff showed up to find the place in order, aside from the fact the menus had been scattered everywhere.
Oh my gosh, they got wild.
And then lastly, during the holiday season, they put up this big, huge Christmas tree and all these like packages wrapped underneath it. So the dining room was closed, but the Christmas tree and the packages were moved from one end of the room to the other.
Oh my gosh.
So when they came in and they find it, and there's also chairs circled around it
What?
facing it, like they've been
like they
looking
were
at
all
it.
like, oh my gosh.
A man in Victorian clothing has also been seen in the lobby sitting at the bar. He has a mustache and beard and never speaks to anyone. He's just
sitting there drinking his, I
yeah,
don't want to say
he just
bourbon.
sits quietly and
Or
disappears.
gin.
And people will go up and try to talk to him, and he never talks, and then he'll just disappear.
Oh, wow.
A waiter carrying a tray of butter has been spotted in the hallways.
Oh,
And I also saw rooms 202 and 424
mm-hmm.
are cited as rooms with lots of activity, but I didn't see any stories. Like, they didn't say what. So
They
I don't
just
know
said stuff was
what
happening
happens
in
there.
them.
I did find something about room 212, though. It was once the office of the hotel's in-house doctor, an actual doctor,
Okay.
before Norman Baker ever came on the scene.
How many rooms does this hotel have?
It had 78 when it first opened.
Okay.
It has fewer now, but I'll tell you at the
Okay.
end. Dr. John Fremont Ellis was the in-house doctor, and his ghost has been seen around that room because it was his office at one point. And then sometimes you can also smell his cherry pipe tobacco. I know you love that.
Oh, I love that so much.
Now we're going to move to the kitchen.
Mm.
One morning, a cook was in the kitchen slicing vegetables when he looked up and saw a little boy wearing those like pop bottle glasses with the really thick lenses and dressed in old-fashioned clothes skipping around the kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
So I have read about, there's a little boy ghost. His name's Brecky because that was his last name. He was 4 years old and he died at the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
From appendicitis.
Oh God.
I know. They say that he's seen around the hotel often playing with a ball.
Oh.
And I wonder if this ghost that he saw in the kitchen might be
the same.
him, but
Yeah.
nobody said that, so I don't know. And another morning, the same cook came in, turned on the lights in the kitchen, and a bunch of the pots and pans came flying off their hooks.
Oh my gosh.
So,
It amazes me that some apparitions or spirits or whatever stay in one space, but then others can just wander throughout the facility.
I think it depends on what they're attached to.
Yeah.
Or, what is it that brought them there? Arguably, the most famous ghost is the girl in the mist. You'll find her on one of the east side balconies. She either falls or jumps from the balcony to the garden below. And then she's shrouded in mist when she falls. She doesn't appear often, but when she does, it's always around 10:30 at night. And the thing about this one is that there's no record of a woman jumping or falling from any of the balconies, but lots of people have witnessed her. And she kind of glows white. So in the dark like that, she's easy to see.
And it's just a repetitive thing. It's not something she's just wandering from one room
That's
to
the only
another
place you
and
see
then
her.
goes and does it.
And guests have reported hearing her scream as she falls.
Oh my God.
So the thing is, remember how I'd said the hotel was used for other things after it closed?
Yes.
Between the time that the original Crescent Hotel closed and before it became the Baker Hospital, from 1908 to 1924, it was a boarding school for young women.
Oh.
A distinguished college and conservatory for proper women. And then for a few years after that, it served as a junior college.
Oh.
So
It could have been either one.
could
of
the girl in
those.
the mist
Yeah.
come from that time?
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing
Intriguing.
about the hauntings.
Okay.
I thought this was interesting.
Okay.
So remember how I talked about how the Irish stonemasons built the hotel out of limestone?
Yes.
The hilltop the hotel sits on is also predominantly limestone.
Oh.
Many paranormal investigators believe that limestone has a special ability
Yes.
to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies, which might factor into the unusually heightened amount of spiritual activity at the Crescent.
Right.
So
That's really cool.
because it's a super haunted hotel, it seems to have ghosts from like every part of its history.
Well, and it's probably still flowing through those waters and stuff too, which aids in the craziness.
Okay, so I've told you how the hotel was built and then became a boarding school, a college, and a hospital. And you already know it's back to being a hotel now.
Right.
The building changed hands a number of times. Like people kept buying it and saying, we're going to return it to its formal glory.
And they just never did.
Yeah. But then in 1997, a couple whose last name I'll definitely mispronounce, so we're just going to call them Marty and Elise.
Yep.
They bought the hotel and they rebuilt the spas, and then they worked on restoring the hotel's original skyline.
Okay.
That meant restoring the 3,500 square foot penthouse, the original center observation tower, and the 200-pound, 24-foot tall crescent moon weather vane.
Oh, wow.
While they were doing all of that, of course, work was also being done on the guest rooms, lounges, and landscaping. All in all, they spent $5 million on renovations. And when they were finished, the Crescent Hotel was indeed restored to its original glory.
Oh my gosh.
Which is why I want to go.
Yeah, I do too. I love historic buildings.
I know.
Architecture is everything.
It's the history and the beauty and the extravagance of it that I just want to see.
Oh, yeah.
And then you tie in the paranormal stuff, and I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Okay, one last cool story.
Okay, go.
In February of 2019, they were using a backhoe on the grounds behind the hotel because they were planning to put in an archery range.
Did they call 411 to make sure they knew where they were digging?
I
Is
don't
it 411, 811?
I don't remember. Those are things that grown-ups
I don't do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're back there and they're digging and they find something.
Oh.
It's a bunch of glass bottles. So they stop digging immediately and they take a look and they realize that these look a whole lot like the glass jars and bottles that appeared in the advertisements that Norman Baker mailed out to people. By the end of the day, they'd uncovered hundreds of these small glass bottles.
Oh my gosh.
Archaeologists were brought in and they confirmed that the bottles appear to date from 1938 to 1940.
Yes.
Several of them
reading about this
still had like alcohol solution floating in them, and there were like bits of tissue floating in the alcohol.
Yeah.
Some of them, like the cracks had unsealed, and so the liquid had drained out, but you could still see there was tissue in there. But they don't know what type it is.
Right.
And they also think they found a couple bottles of Baker's Formula 5.
Oh my gosh.
His cancer cure.
I love that.
And so these bottles would have been on display in the lobby at the time that it was a hospital.
Okay.
Which is a little dumb because he didn't do surgery. He wouldn't have removed any tissues.
Yes.
He wouldn't have removed any.
So what's the experiment?
It was all just props. Well, it was just to make it more believable.
Yeah, it's true.
Because nobody's going to ask those questions.
No.
They're there to get cured.
Yes.
Now, several of those glass bottles are on display on the shelves in the old morgue.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I know. Okay, so today, the hotel has all the amenities the modern traveler could want. It sits on 15 acres of formal gardens and nature trails with 72 guest rooms, many of which have their own balcony. And then it also has 12 luxury suites.
Ooh.
The New Moon Spa,
I love it,
features a full menu of treatments, a salon, and a wellness program. And then Eureka Springs itself has galleries and restaurants and bars and a beautiful old Carnegie Library. And there's also an opera company. And let's not forget the Christ of the Ozark statue, which is 7 stories high. So we have to go.
We need to go now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
Let's do this for my birthday.
Okay. Marina, thank you for sending that in.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
sorry it took us so long to get to it, but
that was so fun.
I really loved reading about it.
I loved hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like I loved the tie-in with Baker and all the spirits and all the things, and I really have to go now, and all I'm gonna go do for the rest of the day is, while I'm sitting in line picking up my children, is Google photos of this space and look at what the prices are.
As I was listening,
I think we should go.
As I was reading, and I see Norman Baker, I'm like, that name sounds familiar, but it's kind of a generic name.
Right.
But then when I got to the watermelon stuff and the cancer cure, I was like, charismatic. And at first I thought you'd done like
about
the whole, and I was like, oh my God, am I researching something we've already done?
No.
We've reached that stage where we have to wonder if we've already covered it.
Yeah, we both are like that at this point.
All right, so
my gosh,
thanks for listening, you guys.
Fun. Yeah,
if you all have ever been there, please tell us all about it. We'd
tell us about it. Yeah. Don't forget to go subscribe to our Facebook podcast discussion group, or just go like us on Facebook, because now we're big girls and we
actually have a Facebook page.
We love you all a lot.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye.